Sir, could I ask you about North Korea, the artillery firings that we saw by the North Koreans into the Western Sea earlier today, plus the No-Dong medium-range missile firings and their statements on a nuclear test. Number one, do you worry, or what evidence do you have, we might be entering a new provocation cycle with North Korea? And a very quick follow-up on a different subject. The Malaysian minister early today in his press conference talked about traveling to ASEAN and meeting with you, and said that he would be asking you for additional capabilities or equipment to help search for the plane, but he wasn't specific. And I was wondering if there's any, you can think of any additional assistance that the U.S. might realistically, practically be able to give to that effort. But North Korea first.
On North Korea, I'm in touch with our commander there, the UN commander, Supreme Commander General Scaparrotti. He had a report about 2 hours ago this morning on briefing me what was going on. I think you all have the latest. There has been artillery exchanges. As you know, the fishing vessel was released. So the provocation that the North Koreans have once again engaged in is dangerous, and it needs to stop.
On North Korea Foreign Ministry announced yesterday North Korea will going to multiple nuclear tests soon. How did you respond for this North Korean Foreign Minister statement?
Well, as I've said, the North Koreans have to stop these provocative actions. And we've been very clear on that. And obviously, when I'm in China, that will be a subject that I will discuss with my counterpart in China.
Secretary General Breedlove was scheduled to testify in front of the Armed Services Committees this week, but he was recalled to Europe because of the Ukraine-Russia crisis. In light of what's happening with North Korea, is there any thought being given to having General Scaparrotti stay there rather than testify this week as he's scheduled to do?
Well, certainly the kind of world that we live in is not a prescribed week-long schedule kind of world. Depending on issues and challenges that occur, we have the flexibility of always adjusting our military commanders depending on where they're required. In General Breedlove's case, I think it was the smart thing to do to have him go back in light of his importance to NATO, especially with the NATO foreign ministers meeting the next 2 days. The Supreme Allied Commander is going to be an integral part of that session over the next 2 days. So we're flexible, and depending on where we need our commanders and where the focus is most important is the way we'll do it, Jan.